And with regard to the hierarchy, let's take a look at what the, quote, bishops in communion with the Vatican II sect actually believe. The Bishop of Buffalo was recently vested by the Dalai Lama in a massive ecumenical service with Jews, Muslims, heretics, which is complete apostasy as condemned by Pope Pius XI in Mortale Manimos. We've got the head of Russian bishops, okay, Igor Kovalevsky. He's the Secretary General of the Novus Ordo Conference of Bishops. He says, quote, "There is no proselytism," referring to the Orthodox, "as a directive on the part of the Holy See, nor is there any intention to convert Russia to Roman Catholicism." This is the head of Russian bishops in communion with Benedict XVI and was in John Paul II. And of course, he's just applying the Balamon statement in which the anti-popes of the Vatican II sect agreed that there's no intention to convert the Orthodox to the Catholic faith. And John Paul II indicated that in numerous joint declarations with the schismatic patriarch Teotest and others. We've got
that they're asking only for a primacy of honor, that they accept, you know.
Yeah, Benedict XVI in Principles of Catholic Theology says that the Rome need not ask for more. Okay, right after quoting the Orthodox position, he says Rome need not ask for more.
A denial of Vatican I.
Which is a denial of Vatican I.
You have the U.S. bishops, and I think it was maybe 2001, posting on their official website that, quote, "campaigns that target Jews for conversion to Christianity are no longer theologically acceptable in the Catholic Church." Okay? We have a copy of it.
Yeah, we have the U.S. Novus Ordo bishops, okay, in 2004 join Christian churches together in the USA, a Protestant communion. Okay, this is a union of different heretical churches. The Novus Ordo bishops joined this, indicating that they're just one of many sects. This is public heresy. We've got the bishop in Jerusalem.
We have Mahoney in Los Angeles meeting with rabbis saying we don't have any intention to convert you, no conversionist agenda in regards to the Jews. I mean, so basically, it's the same situation. You're going to have to decide, Mr. Goley's going to have to decide, well, okay, this guy's a clear heretic, that one's a clear heretic. I mean, you see the evidence here.
We've got the Novus Ordo bishops who have bluntly repudiated the dogmatic Second Council of Lyon. This is still on their website. They say that the dogmatic definition, okay, which condemned those who deny the filioque, is no longer applicable. That's what the Novus Ordo bishops say. The point here is that the bishops all over this Vatican II church are manifest heretics because they're simply implementing the new religion. And anyone who goes to the local Novus Ordo churches, okay, they can see that this is a completely new religion.
You have Hindu services now being conducted on the very spot where Our Lady of Fatima appeared. Okay? And basically fully approved of by Rome. He's not excommunicated. Nothing is censured or interdicted there. Why? Because it's all flowing from the teachings of this heretical Second Vatican Council and the teaching of these anti-popes.
And they're just repeating what John Paul II did at Assisi, which you mentioned earlier, where John Paul II removed the crucifixes so that the animists could go worship their demons, which these false religions worship demons according to sacred scripture. 1 Corinthians 10:20, Psalm 95:5. Okay? And they're just applying that apostasy. And this is all over the place in the Vatican II religion. We could give countless other examples of heresies. Of course, there's Benedict XVI's promotion that you can go to masses which have no words of consecration with an Assyrian schismatic church of the East. Okay, we've got people being raised toward canonization, like Mother Teresa, who said that she loves all religions. Okay,
who praised the meeting of Assisi on October 27th, 1986, where different false religions came and prayed for peace as the most beautiful gift of God. Okay, who said that if you're a Hindu, we want to make you a better Hindu. If you're a Muslim, we want to make you a better Muslim. And if you're a Catholic, we want to make you a better Catholic.
And as far as evidence of this, proving our point once again, is you have the people who write for the publications of the new religion, such as St. Anthony Messenger. In their article, they had a series on Vatican II, and they flatly admitted that Vatican II's teaching is a revolution. They said, Unitatis Redintegratio, the decree on ecumenism, and Nostra Aetate showed marked changes in the Church's attitudes toward other faiths. Unitatis Redintegratio affirmed that the Church includes all Christians and is not limited exclusively to the Catholic Church. They understand Vatican II quite well. These are the the approved publications of the people who have applied Vatican II on the local level. It's universal apostasy. Of course, we mentioned how Paul VI changed the rite to every sacrament. He removed all the references to the sacrificing priesthood from the rite of ordination along the same lines as the Protestants. He told his good friend Jean Guiton that he changed the Mass to make it closer to the Calvinist supper. Okay, they've changed the words of consecration defined by Pope Eugene IV and Pope St. Pius V and repeated in the Roman Missal throughout history. With the wake of Vatican II, we have a sex scandal that's so abominable that it's almost beyond comprehension.
Annulments that are given to absolutely anyone who petitions for them. Almost 100% of the annulment petitions that are asked for are given by the Novus Ordo Church.
Yeah, which is a denial of the indissolubility of marriage. We have Novus Ordo Benedictines and Jesuits officially stalled in Novus Ordo monasteries as teachers of Zen Buddhism. Okay, and there are pictures of this. This is going on.
We have nuns at convents praying that Jews remain faithful to their Jewish religion. I mean, this is outright apostasy. This is a new gospel.
We have every year the Vatican sends an official message commemorating the Buddhist feast of Vesak, the Muslim feast of Ramadan, and the Hindu feast of Diwali. And the Vatican's representative sends a message to all these leaders of false and idolatrous religions saying, you know, we wish you the best and we respect what you're doing and so forth. This is apostasy. You don't have to look very far to see it. And there's just a tidal wave of it, as he says. How much time do we have there?
About 35 seconds.
Okay, we'll call that right now.
Okay, the next section will be closing remarks. This is the last chance to speak, and this will be Mr. Goley for 15 minutes.
Okay, I wish to thank the brothers for having me. It was a good experience. Like I said, I think a number of issues came up in this debate. One is some of the quotes that they mentioned. I knew from talking to them earlier and listening to other people talk to them and looking at their website, I knew there was really no defense for their tidal wave of quotes that they were going to throw. It's just simply, in this situation, it's simply impossible to address and talk about all of them. But one of the things that I wanted to, number one, I want to reiterate the fact that they would like to have another debate and maybe put their top 4 or top 5 quotes. I would be happy to discuss them and show how they can be reconciled, or if they want to do another debate on extra ecclesia nullis salus, outside the church of new salvation, something like that. I'd be happy to do that. Maybe we can talk about that later. I reiterate the fact that when they're making these quotes, if you listen carefully and you listen closely, they're drawing interpretations from them. It's not absolutely clear what they're saying. In other words, they're drawing a conclusion from the text. One of the reasons is that for some reason, and I may not agree with this, but as of the last 30 or 40 years, the mindset of the church is to, you know, try to word things where it may be a little bit more politically correct. Now, I'm not saying that is right, but my point that I'm making is that you cannot necessarily attribute something to heresy unless it's a clear denial of the faith, and this is what they're doing.